Lucky Lefty Podcast. Onora Boys in the building, brought to you by Onora Whiskey, OnoraWhiskey.com. It's that premium American whiskey, OnoraWhiskey.com. And if you drink, by all means, make sure you do so
responsibly.
You got to do it responsibly. Hope everyone had a great weekend. Hope everyone enjoyed watching the NFL Combine. The Notre Dame players, will get to that in a minute, their performances, what we liked, what we didn't like, big picture. Left, it seems like you have a problem on your hands, bro. Now, it's something that I recently went through. And maybe some of the fans can help you this morning. Like you just got a new dog, didn't you? Left, you there?
Yes, sir. I'm ready. I'm right here, baby.
All right, so you just got a new dog, didn't you?
Oh my goodness, yeah, a dog that everybody wants, but nobody wants to take care of. Man, I don't get that. I'm like, wait a minute, where's the same energy for cleaning up the poop and y'all can't handle him barking all of a sudden. Wait a minute, this is what dogs do now. This is what dogs do.
So look. Baby girl, when she turned 16 for her 16th birthday, she wanted a puppy. I fought for 2 weeks to keep this puppy out of the house, bro.
2 weeks?
I was like, look, this is a bad idea. He's never home. He doesn't get through with, theater practice until like 8, 9 o'clock at night. She's not going to have time to take care of the dog. The dog is going to be here by himself. Dude, her and her mom just teamed up and they went to bat. No, it's not gonna be like that. Duh.
You like, no. hard no for me.
And I knew how it was gonna go. Left. I knew it. You get the puppy. Dude. She gets home from practice.
That's right.
She's still keeping a dog in a cage. I'm like, why's the dog in a cage?
My dog in a cage. What's because I don't want to deal with it, Daddy.
Exactly.
I didn't know it was 24 hours. I just had to take about 1 or 2 hours, be done.
Exactly.
And I tell them all the time, I said, listen, we can go visit the little pet store and pet dogs for an hour every day. We don't got to take it home. Look, we can even feed them when we get there. They let you give them a couple treats, walk around a little. It's like, so it's a responsibility thing that I think you can relate to Notre Dame. Marcus Freeman wants the dog.
Mm-hmm.
So he gonna do everything to nurture it. He gonna feed it the goat milk, when it's 8 weeks old to get it big and strong. He gonna potty train them, so he only gonna give them water and food at the right time so they can take them out on schedule. We're gonna train them the right way. A lot of these programs are unkept dogs. And Notre Dame is the dog training master. That's why they asked Notre Dame for all their advice. How you train your dog to do this? How you win award shows with your dog doing what? What you feeding your Notre Dame dog over there? Y'all don't need to be at the dog park. Y'all got your own dog park. How we over here catching lice and other diseases from dogs because it's too crowded. We look over in Paradise Notre Dame dog park. Y'all doing the damn thing with Marcus Freeman just chilling in a new cut off ND sweater vest cashmere. Under Armour doing right. Under Armour doing right. So yeah, it's the people want a dog until it's time to take care of it. And Marcus Freeman wanted that dog in the Notre Dame window real bad. And they had bidders that were better dog trainers, quote unquote, and all that. But Marcus Freeman saw the vision through the window. He said, that's the dog for me. And now we about to win first prize in the dog pageantry.
Left. Let me tell you something, man. That dog stayed with us for 2 years, and then we just gave it. I said, dude, I can't do this, man.
2 years is not even long.
I'm waking up, and I'm waking up every morning.
Oh yeah.
To take the dog out
Yeah.
because he's barking at 6 a.m.
And everybody act like they can't hear it.
Exactly.
Everybody act like they can hear it. And it kills me because they hit you with the, can you do it, Dad? Can you go get up? I know you didn't want the dog. I know you damn near told us. But can you go? Because I'm sleepy. Because I'm tired.
And every excuse I was given. He was up late last night doing homework.
Oh yeah, you do. Yeah, you
Doing that. I'm saying you're telling me the exact same things that I told you were the reasons why we didn't need to get the pup.
Because of homework. Because
man,
hit you with the oh, I see now, Dad. I see.
And I do when I tell you, I absolutely love the dog, man.
Yeah,
he was a good dog. He was a puppy, dude. He would get into stuff.
That's what puppies do.
Yeah, he had to be trained, not to pee inside the house. But he let you know when it was time to go outside. Like it wasn't like he would sneak off if you ignored him. But he would let you know, like, hey man, it's time for me to go outside. And as long as you paid attention to him, he didn't tear up the house or anything like that. He was a really good dog, man. He was a really good fun dog. Now, he thought he was bigger than what he was. That was another thing, right? Because we had like a pit bull that stayed across the street, and he would just run up on him like,
yeah. See, my thing too is with these pit bulls. Y'all got these monster A dogs in the backyard. Y'all can't even walk them or nothing. Y'all just got them. Y'all just be having them in the back with these loud, angry sounds. I'm like, so you can't play with it, you can't walk it, and you're damn near scared to feed it. Why y'all got these monster dogs in y'all backyard? It'd be a point where it's like, all right, y'all, it's like being a weightlifter, bodybuilder, champion of the world working at T-Mobile. Breaking every phone because you just overly strong. So if you got a dog you can't walk because it's too strong, it's aggressive, so you can't take it around nobody, and you're damn near scared to feed it. I mean, some people gotta let stuff go. Some things ain't meant for everybody, and that's okay. And that is okay.
Let's get to it. Notre Dame at the combine, Left. Let's start with Sam Hartman, bro.
Oh my gosh. Well, I'm thankful that other guys were there with Sam Hartman. If it was Caleb and Drake, man, and your boy Jaden Daniels, I'll be like, damn. But I think honestly, it goes back to what we said preseason before Sam got there. He's a tier 4 guy. And when he gets to the combine at the end of the road, he looked like a tier 4 guy. So I'm not going to say I was surprised by his performance, but it's very expected what he gave. I think he's damn near better than, or I can't even say better. He damn near looked the same as JJ. But JJ got, a different resume. So I think overall Sam did exactly what we expected. And in a vacuum, how we always talk about, his talent isn't first round, how some of us like to think it was when he came to Notre Dame. He's right in that middle section. And when you add a guy like that with a bunch of talent, okay, you can do some things. It's funny, though. They were showing the stats when guys were going up to throw. And you had 4,000, 3,500, 3,800, 4,100, Devin Leary, all these guys. And then you get to Sam, it says 2,659. How the hell you get to the combine with 26.59?
Mm-hmm.
The numbers just didn't compare to the Spencer Rattlers, the Devin Learys, the Michael Penix Juniors, the Austin Reeves from Western Kentucky. All these dudes was having 38, 40 K yards. And Sam the only one in there with 26. Even Joe Milton. Joe Milton had 28, but he threw the ball a quarter mile. So I know as a representation of Notre Dame, everybody's looking like, damn, they didn't throw for nothing. And then you go, to Aldrich and Lord bless his heart. Bless that man heart. Because the combine ain't an Aldrich thing. If I was Aldrich, I'd be treating it like Caleb. I don't want nobody to do no medicals. I ain't running no 40 till pro day. I ain't do none of that. Because I think that's just a disadvantage for him. I'm like, you hurt yourself, Aldrich.
Yeah.
For what? I would have told these teams straight up. I'm like, look how big I am. Like, come on. Look how big I am.
Watch me outrun people on film.
Yeah. Don't do this straightaway thing, because that's not my game.
Right.
Because I'm embarrassed running this 40 when these linemen running 4.9s and they about 150 pounds heavier. So I jumped straight on Twitter and said, don't even worry about Aldrich's numbers. Because you can defend that, brother. Now, I can see why people would say, see, this is why he's not the Doak Walker, yada, 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 yada. But then it comes, are we talking about the production on the field?
Mm-hmm.
Or are we talking about the pageantry numbers? Because we went to Keon Coleman. I'm glad they pulled that tracker up of game speed versus 40 speed. The dude from Oregon ran like a 4.4 and was slow in the game speed.
Game speed. Right. Yeah.
But Keon Coleman was faster in game speed, but naturally, slower in the 40. So
and got up to, I think he had one of the top 5.
He got up to like 20 or 19.
Yeah.
So I think that is really special to look at that stuff like that for Aldrich. Like let's not look at the 4.7. Let's not look at the 4.7. Let's look at the first 10 yards. Let's take the 10-yard numbers. And I think that a lot of teams, and the great thing about the NFL is that all these teams are looking at different things. Yeah, you run a 4.7, but the Cardinals may be looking at your first 10. The Patriots may be looking at how you finish it. Maybe the Bengals are looking at the entire 40. So, teams are looking at the same numbers in different ways. Mm-hmm. But from the fans' perspective, don't just automatically dog our guy Aldrich, because I'll just pull up the film and show him running away from guys that are running faster in the combine. So it's a catch-22 for some guys, and it can be advantageous for others, like a Xavier Worthy. Running a 4.21, that's fast as lightning. Well, hell, didn't you see the DBs? Like, it was like 8 DBs straight ran a 4.3, right. Like a low 4.3. I'm like, man, what these kids eating?
Our boy Cam Hart did what he had to do. And look, I said this. We said it. As long as Cam runs 4.5, low 4.5, Cam is good.
He's straight. He got the size. He's got the film. He got the intangibles. You know what I mean? Cam the only way Cam's first round is if Cam was doing stuff like Ben Morrison, like 5 picks in 3 games. But in fairness, Cam is just like what Kyle is. Kyle's not going to wow you necessarily with numbers.
But you put him in that game.
Him and Kyron had quote unquote breakout season. Well, can Kyle have a breakout season as a first rounder? Or is it just that was what you're supposed to do, I guess?
I mean,
do you consider that a breakout or what?
I thought it was expected, honestly.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I don't think Kyron's was as expected, so that's more of a breakout. But Kyle just doing what he was paid to do as a first rounder. So it's an interesting dynamic.
Cam probably definitely is a second round pick, in my opinion. I want him to go to Baltimore. I want him to go home, play with Cal, his best friend. I think it would be absolutely amazing if that happened for Cam Hart.
Absolutely. I think some of these are just narratives that we just got to see. Like some teams just have to draft certain players for the area because I know they think about it.
Mm-hmm.
They're like, okay, he's from here, he got a lot of family that come in here. Is good for the area. So, I just think that when you get into these positions in the combine, it's just about positioning and who likes you. How do you sell yourself? Because I think the draft decision picks are all changing up until the day, up until the draft day. Like, I believe right now the Bears have exactly who they want right now. And I guarantee it'll change by the time that clock starts. When that clock go from 5, you're going to have people calling. You're going to have people trying to make last-minute deals. I think it'd be an exciting thing to watch. Like, they should document Ryan Poles during his draft because so much expectations is on it. Oh, and by the way, shout out Marcus Freeman. They unplayed Marcus Freeman combine tape. He looked like a little first rounder or something with his bald head. He was looking good in the drills. His 40 looked fast. Yeah, Marcus Freeman looked like he could have got drafted in the first round or something.
Man, look here, dude. That interview, the fact, once again, having Marcus Freeman at the NFL Combine when high school kids all around the country are watching, and having him mixed in with other NFL coaches and executives to get that spot and that look is absolutely amazing.
And then to be there, they showing you highlights, and then you representing about 8 dudes there. I mean, that was a good Notre Dame PR move to get Marcus Freeman those credentials to get in there. Because not only is he amongst the coaches, hell, Marcus Freeman know what it was like playing. Know what it's like being there. Can relate to his guys that are going to the combine. Can talk to an Audrey, can talk to a Cam and help ease their mind, So Marcus Freeman is putting himself in the right places. Sometimes it's about where you're at, not what you do.
Lucky Lefty podcast, talking NFL Combine and what the Notre Dame players said. Cam Hart definitely stood out. Dude, there was no dude. I wasn't even going to talk about 10, but hey, you wanted to talk about him, so hey, it is what it is. Joe Alt checked in at 6'8" and 5'8", bro.
It's a big sucker.
Good grief, bro.
And he ran good, too.
Yeah, he ran a 5.05, 28 inches in the vert. Broad jump, 9 and 4. 3-cone drill, 7.31. Short shuttle, 4.51. That's pretty good.
Yeah, and his thing is all about just showing up. Run these little, do check the boxes, Joe Alt. So we go ahead and try top 5. Just go ahead and check the boxes. Joe Alt didn't hit us with the, I don't want to do medical. I don't want to run the 40. He's a definition of a football player, a man's man. He gonna do what he needs to do. Very Zach Martin quality-ish. And I think he'll have a great career in the NFL because he has the makeup of a professional.
So for you, Love, where would you like to see Joe Alt go? He's definitely going top 10. I want him here in Chicago. I'm letting you know now. Everybody, we got to get another receiver. I'm like, no, you need somebody to protect the quarterback.
Yeah, Chicago be the easiest. I think if you're a Notre Dame football player and you want to make an impact on another level, go down the street to Chicago because the Notre Dame network is still strong there, but also, you know the environment. You've been there before. I'm sure if you've been in Notre Dame, you have been in Chicago multiple times. And plus, it establishes a good pipeline because you talk about recruiting and you talk about Notre Dame having a presence in Chicago. Hell, I swear recruiting would be a lot easier if we can refer to Chicago's best players at Notre Dame like that came from Notre Dame in recruiting process. You know, so we can if we boast. If we may not necessarily have to take the credit for them going to Chicago, but hell, we can show the success of what being at Notre Dame in Chicago's like. I guarantee you, if Joe Alt goes to Chicago, he has more benefits than the quarterback than Justin Fields. He got more connections in Chicago than Justin Fields if he get drafted there. I bet you that. But Justin Fields on his way to Atlanta right now, so I don't know if how long that'll last. But shout out to Justin Fields.
Well, actually, the buzz is Atlanta's going after Kirk Cousins.
No way.
Yeah.
Wow. Kirk Cousins want to stay though, don't he?
Well, I'll just play you. The Bears are goofy. Let me tell you why the Bears are goofy. They allow people. They fought so hard to prove to Caleb Williams that they want him, that they played themselves, because eventually the entire league knew, okay, they have no leverage when it comes to Justin. Because they're not going to keep him. They're going to draft Caleb Williams. The whole league knows it. So that drives down the price you can ask. Because, hey, it's on you to get rid of him. We don't have to trade for him. Why would we trade a first? People were talking about the Bears are going to get a first-round pick for Justin Fields. Where? They played themselves. They probably should have traded him when he was playing his best during the season.
Does he have the first-round trade value?
No. They'll be lucky to get a third-round pick for Justin Fields. No. They'll be lucky to get a third-round pick. And at this point, they might as well take the third-rounder and keep it moving. Might as well. They played themselves, dude. They played themselves. Either you commit to him and rock out, trade the pick, and get a haul of picks for the next 2 years to make your team better, or you settle for. It's almost like you don't want dude, but you want everybody else to overpay for the person that you don't want. He's not good enough for you at quarterback, but you want us to come overpay for something that you don't even want. It never made sense. It never made sense. It never did. So Blake Fisher, mixed bag for Blake, right? I think Blake, in a lot of different ways, his numbers.
He falls to a third rounder because it's too much ambiguity.
Yeah.
I mean, ambiguity.
Yeah.
They know he has a first round talent from an eye test. But I think just all the things included, and then you got Joe Alt, who is grading out and maxing out on checking the boxes on things. It just puts him in a position where they naturally say, well, Joe Alt doesn't have that many miscues. And so Blake shouldn't have that many miscues, I guess, or whatever the case is, because they definitely are getting judged differently. But Blake Fisher had more hype going in than Joe Alt did. So I don't know if that was because of the injury early or what it could have been.
I'll say this, Left. It is important who he goes to. If he goes to a run-first team, he'll be fine. If he goes to a team like a Kansas City that's shotgun, pass pro majority of the time, run game from the shotgun, he'll struggle. Joe Alt can go to any system, any team, and be successful. It's going to be very important where Blake Fisher goes.
Yeah.
And eventually, if he does, look, Blake Fisher can be a very good interior offensive line.
Yeah, people are forgetting that he's from Notre Dame. If he
exactly
was any other school, they would be, oh, he's all of this. He's the next up. Because if he went to Kentucky, if he went to one of these other schools, he would be the talk of the town and almost undervalued rated player. But because he went to Notre Dame and what we've been putting out, you damn near got to be perfect. I mean, think about it. We're comparing him, who played on the same line as a guy who's going top 5 pick. So if you got a top 5 pick, of course your criticism is going to be a little harsher because that's what they're looking at. So yeah, if Blake Fisher wasn't on the same field as Joe Alt on the same team, he would be perceived differently. Because remember, Blake Fisher was supposed to be the man coming in, Quentin Nelson vibes.
Look, man, I would not sit here and tell anyone that Blake Fisher played up to the expectations that a lot of people had for him at Notre Dame, but I think a lot of other people went too far the other way as well.
Yeah.
It's like, yeah, take the Clemson game. The Clemson game was an even game for me, right? I thought the offensive line played well early.
Yeah, I mean, Clemson had Jeremiah Trotter. He's a top linebacker this year.
But then when you you're a run-first offense, you have a left tackle that is dominant on both ends of the offense and pass pro and run game. And then you have a right tackle that is not as strong in pass pro and is really good in the run game. He's really good in the run game. He'd probably be the perfect guard in college or in the pros. And he had moments, and his moments just happened to come up in the fourth quarter. And all people wanted to do was just complain about Blake Fisher in the fourth quarter at Clemson when that cat Sam Hartman was horrible the entire game. And it's like, dude, and now those are the passes that I'm talking about, the entire game. And the offense didn't show up early. I mean, the defense didn't show up early. Mon-Fri ran for 170.
But
and all people wanted
to stepped up and gave us a chance. And we did.
Yeah, they did. They did what they were supposed to do. That's like me, giving myself a round of applause for being a father. I mean, that's what you're supposed to do. You're a good defense. Show up. Show up. Don't give up 170.
Okay.
To the backup running back. Well, once again, a backup running back goes off against Notre Dame in the run game.
Okay, quick side note. If that's how you feel, how do you feel about tips? Because I had the same conversation with people about tipping at the restaurant. You pay what you're supposed to do.
Shouldn't tips be based upon the service?
Not if you're getting paid for the service.
No, they don't get paid a lot, though. Waiters and waitresses don't get paid a lot, dude. They get paid like $8 an hour, $9 an hour.
But it goes back to the tipping philosophy.
Why does that have to be a philosophy? I don't need a philosophy. I don't need an amount. If you're attentive to me, in any walk of life,
I'm saying
I'm gonna look out.
The food, just doing your job, getting the catch up. I think tips deserve from explanatory efforts.
I agree with that. I agree with that.
Choke, you done refilled your boy water without saying something. Okay, I noticed that. But if you just coming back like DoorDash, are you tipping your DoorDash person?
I mean, I usually whatever it lands on, I just
okay.
I don't even pay attention. You know what I'm saying? Like I've tipped my Uber driver before.
Okay, they must have
if the driver's really nice, it was cool conversation. They had some little drinks in the back, or they had somewhere for me to plug my phone into to charge and stuff like that.
Yeah, we're accommodating.
Yeah. Yeah, the extras, like you said, absolutely. Let me go above and beyond with my tip. I appreciate that. So yeah, but no, I'm not. Football is a very layered game. You played it, Left. I didn't play it. So for me, just watching it, observing it, writing about it, you come to realize there are a lot of different reasons. And when you see people focus on one thing, they say, this is why we lost. It's like, no. Like you said, what the defense did in the second half, they definitely gave Notre Dame a chance. But the defense was part of the reason they were in that hole.
I think my philosophy as I've gotten older has changed on how I feel about that. I do believe football comes down to moments. And in hindsight, I'm sure you can probably judge it differently when you're watching the film. But like thinking about Notre Dame and that Ohio State, those last two plays. Yeah, we coulda, shoulda, woulda with DJ Brown. Yeah, we coulda, shoulda, woulda on offense. But them last two plays would have made the difference. And that's what they, in my opinion, they judge Marcus Freeman on. They don't look at Marcus Freeman as, oh, you held Ohio State to its lowest all season. You took them to the wire. We were supposed to win that game. They look at it like, dude, those last two plays, you look like you couldn't coach.
Mm-hmm.
That's how they evaluate it. So, yes, I look at it how they evaluate Marcus Freeman. Okay, yeah, we lost because you dropped that ball. We threw that pick, Sam Hartman. That's why we lost. Yeah, we let Hoffa get, 100+ yards, but that's a standard for us. We do that every week, apparently.
Yeah, they give up 100 per game.
But that's not the reason why we lost. So, I don't know. I think that
I think Blake Fisher took way too much heat. I'll say that.
Compared to other linemen at Notre Dame, absolutely.
He took way too much heat. Dude.
Matter of fact, when have we ever heard this much criticism of a Notre Dame line that was projected to be high? I never heard them talk crazy about Ronnie or Mike McGlinchey or any of our tackles. Hell, Liam Eichenberg, I didn't even hear much about him until he started playing for the Dolphins. Aaron Banks, didn't hear much about him. Hell, Nick Martin. So it's like, I think Blake has received the most unfair criticism as a Notre Dame lineman. Just because I don't know how you obviously it may be a little biased, but I don't exactly know how you quantify it either. But I just remember a lot of people having a lot to say about Blake as opposed to other linemen that's been through the program.
Yeah. I agree, man. It's one of those things where, dude, look, close this tip. Do you tip when you pick up your order?
No, because I would be tipping who? My thing is, who would I don't know. I think tipping is a very subjective thing. I do think that if you are going above and beyond on noticeable, like I've had noticeable times I remember where I'll be like, okay, I really enjoyed that service and I've tipped well. But I remember those times, but I've eaten out countless times. So that's how I remember.
I've done it before. The reason I do it is like if I go to a restaurant and I see a bunch of, say I go to an ice cream spot, right? I say I go to Cold Stone Creamery and I get a founder's favorite. And it's a bunch of high school kids in there. You know how they have that little cup right there in front of the register?
Yeah.
Where they say tips. I'm like, they're high school kids. So, if I get like $2 or $3 and change, I'll just put the $3 in there. You know what I'm saying? Like they're high school kids.
I'm glad you said that, Sean, because when you come out here, one thing you're going to see, you're going to see when you're driving and you pull up to these lights, these little babies with these signs like, hey, I'm out here thugging it. It's 7 of us. Drop a couple of dollars in the bucket. What are we doing? Because you're going to go broke. But a lot of people doing it out here.
Let me tell you something, man. And after this, we're going to switch topics. No, I got to get to JD and Maris. And then after this. But Left, yesterday, I'm headed to church. And my wife always places her, Starbucks order as we head to the church. We drive, through the app, because we drive right by Starbucks to the expressway. And She goes in, so we pull up. I see this young lady and her mother setting up a table. And I'm like, oh, that's a dope idea. I'm like, she's gonna sell us Girl Scout cookies in front of Starbucks. I'm like, that's dope. That makes sense. That's really good planning, Mom. So I say, man, let me go support. Let me get a little box of shortbreads or something, or some lemon, I get out and I was like, man, how much for a box? And she was like, $7. I said, what?
$7?
I said, a box of Girl Scout cookies is $7 now? I got back in the truck, dog.
You don't want to know how much they were. I just went 2 days ago. Guess how much they are out here?
How much are they in the capital?
$10.
$10 for a box of Girl Scout cookies, bro?
Yes.
Nah, bro. What happened to the $2 box back in the day?
Now, I'm not gonna lie, I got 2 of them, but that's not the point. That's not the point.
Where'd you get the Royal Stripes?
I got the Samoas, and they got the new lemon cookie. Every year they redo the cookie.
The lemon joints are always fire,
but they always redo the shape and size and look of it every time. I liked it when it had like the yellow custard and the cookie on top. Now they got like a empanada type cookie for the lemon tart, so it's different. But the Samoas are always good.
Right, like you said, the cookies seem smaller than they used to be, but the prices keep going up. It's like, yo, the production price for Girl Scout cookies cannot be that much more expensive than they were 5 years ago.
But when did the market change? Like, what the hell?
Dude, Dwayne's, hey, thank you for tapping in, Dwayne. Dwayne Shane said it's $5 in Tennessee. Maybe it's by state, Left. Maybe it's by state.
It got to be, because a regular fry from McDonald's is $3.29. Where have you ever got that from?
No, that's a large fry in Chicago. It's still like $2.70, $2.89.
Oh yeah, you gonna be upset, Sean.
No, we're not having that. No,
you gotta use the app. You gotta use the app.
No, I'm gonna make my own fry. How about that? How about that? That's what's gonna happen. Old school. Lucky Lefty podcast. That's what, make my own burger and fries at the crib.
I'm
So
telling
JD Bertrand, he did 20 reps on the bench press, but did not participate. He was also seen with a boot on the sidelines. So hopefully by March 21st, which is Notre Dame's pro day, he'll be ready to go for that. Maris Leofold, he did go ahead and run the 40, ran a 4.64. He did not participate on the on-field drills and did not participate in the bench press. He's looking forward to doing that on the pro day on March 21st. And then Javante John the Baptist, man, 6'4", 5'8", 239 pounds, ran a 4.66, much better than most people expected. Had a broad jump of 10.7, which is really good, and then a vertical jump of 34.5 inches.
He's definitely a plus player, a guy that's going to find his way on the field on Sunday. He'd be like, oh, I remember he played for Notre Dame. Oh, I remember he show up at some point during the season. Nothing of a impact, but that's also where Notre Dame lies in a lot of cases, where we got guys that's going to be playing on Sunday. They may not be the star of the team. They're going to be on the field. Guy I think about so much is Jalen Guyton. Now, he's been hurt a lot, but when he's healthy, he's in the mix with Keenan Allen pretty consistently,
Yeah. Indy Norm said his daughter, shout out to your daughter, Norm. His daughter is selling them here in Kettering. Kettering, Ohio, bro.
See, I support that.
You support that?
You got to send me that link, Norm. Because we can.
Hey, Norm. Norm, you got some sales.
Got some sales in California.
Hit Malik with the link so he can buy them $6 a box.
You gonna have the California Girl Scouts calling you up like, "Hey, you infringing on territory, bro? How you?" It's gonna be like, "Wow!" They're gonna be like, "You hit
Norm's daughter is about to become the BMF of Girl Scout cookie."
You're gonna fly out here and make peace with these cookie dealers out here. I'm telling you,
she's about to become the Midwest supplier.
Yeah,
For
she
Girl Scout cookies all over the country. She
messing the game.
got them for the low.
Oh yeah, you gonna mess the game up. Coming out here.
She got the Girl Scout cookies for the low. That's hilarious, bro.
These ain't just Girl Scout cookies. They norm cookies. Norm Scout.
Elizabeth Crook, welcome back from your trip, Elizabeth. Glad you made it back safely. She said there's $6 in Georgia, bro.
See, here we go. We're gonna have to make that call now. That pipeline.
Left. I
And it's
tell you
legal.
what. I tell you what. When I get out there, Left, I might just have to bring us a box.
Yeah, you're gonna have to pick one on the plane because you're gonna be mad as soon as you land. Sitting outside the airport with that $9 tag, and you're gonna be like, no way.
Oh, wait a minute. Hold on. Carl A says they're $350. See, that's what I'm talking about. $350 in Baltimore. See, that's what I'm talking about, Left. That right there. That's it right there. Yo, Carl, send us the link, my brother. Send us the link. I need the $350 shortbreads.
Yeah.
And my wife loves the royal stripes, so I would have to get us some royal stripes.
Yeah.
Without question.
We're not gonna catch no traffic and cookie charges. This is all just business. It's good business.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, when we come back, we're 2 days away from the start of spring practice. Hey, I'm amped. Can't wait to be there. Lucky Lefty podcast. We'll get into that and what you want to hear or see after practice number 1 or for the entire spring. Lucky Lefty podcast.
What's up, family? The merch shop is finally here. Lucky Lefty Network merch shop. We got it all. From the shirts to the hoodies to the hats to the nitty gritties. Come here right now. Shop with us. Come get the swag because you know, if anything else, we spin it different. You see the gritty. You see how we get down. It's elite.
Lucky Lefty podcast. Get with us. Apple Podcast, Spotify, audio edibles each and every day. Lock in with us right now. The podcast, it was exclusive. Now we drop part 1 of the Deuce Knight interview over at Apple Podcasts and Spotify and on our YouTube channel. You can go watch it right now. Part 1 of the exclusive interview with Notre Dame quarterback commit from 2025, Deuce Knight. Left. Spring practice begins on Thursday. I'm going to do my practice report that's going to be exclusively over at Patreon. That's patreon.com/Lucky Lefty Network. What's the first thing? Because you know you're going to be the first phone call when I hop back on the expressway. What's the first thing you want to hear from me, Left, coming from practice?
Did anybody wow you on the offensive side? And I'm not even looking for anybody in particular, but usually when you leave practice, you hear something defensively. Oh, defense looking good. Ben Morrison's doing his job, yada, yada, yada. It would be nice to be like, man, the best player on the team might be on offense this year, whether that be a transfer, guy stepping up, when the running backs establishing themselves. But I definitely think having, and it not be a tight end or a lineman, if we just being even more specific, I think we'll be moving in the right direction in terms of what we can expect in the season. So if you come back being like, just, man, you can't stop gushing about the running backs or the quarterback play or the receivers or somebody on offense.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, yeah, you could talk lineman or tight end, but we know that we're pretty good on that in general. Like, we should only be speaking about lineman and tight end. We can obviously speak glowingly, but we should be mentioning it in the news if it ain't right.
Right.
That's when you mention the lineman and tight when it ain't right. But other than that, like Coach Vic said, if the best player on the team is on offense this year, we're gonna go all the way. I think so.
What's LL question of the day? What would you love to be talked about after the first spring practice? LL question of the day. Matter of fact, I'll give you 2 things. I was going to say the one thing. Well, I'll go ahead and give you 2 things. What do you want to hear after the first spring practice coming up here on Thursday. Left, I'm watching our boy Chris Mitchell, bro.
Yeah.
I better see 4-3. I know that.
Playing speed.
Oh man.
Not just being able to be fast. Because I think when you go to practice, you'll see a lot of fast guys. We got Micah Bell, he's fast. You got Jordan Faison's fast. You got the running backs are fast, you know. But 4-3 is like, oh, we got Will Fuller again. And that's an eye test thing because clearly you're not going out there with no clock, no hand speed clock.
Yeah.
It's all eye speed. Does he look like a 4-3 or is it a 4-3 over, you running straight and all that?
Left, I need to see Chris running that 4-3, bro. I don't need him to be Xavier worthy, but I definitely need to see a difference.
We got to see a 4-3 in a non-linear way is what I'm saying. If you telling us you a 4-3 linearly, okay, that applies to about 10% of the game. But if you a 4-3 because you a fast player, that should be noticeable on the offense day one.
I would also say I would like to see the young linebackers.
Yep. Those are main attraction.
I left
because of
you
the
said
coach.
it best. Yeah.
The coaches, the culture, the expectation, and the biggest leap. If we're getting picky about what our defense should do better, obviously it's the linebackers. I would say the linebackers before the D line because I think the linebackers would set the tone a little bit more, That's Marcus Freeman's the linebacker, extraordinaire. You got Max Bullock, who is coming across as the perfect hire for that group of guys. Al Golden has been very experienced with linebackers in his tenure in coaching. So that you think a mentality of the team, it should come from them linebackers. We recruited heavily. There's a lot of stake in it. And as a defensive head coach, you want to be proud of that group.
Yeah.
Because I'm sure Marcus Freeman would see himself, that whole thing. Max Bullock could see himself in that group. They talk about bringing a standard. Even when you're on the baseball diamond, you bring in a linebacker standard. So I think that fits very well in place to what we've done in the past. Linebackers and the success we've had, and we've seen what a linebacker-led team can go. We had a defensive Heisman finalist, and we went to the championship with a defensive linebacker being a premier player on the team. So we won in the years we've won Buckus Awards at that position. We've been in the playoffs or close to the championship with even that. So that's been something where it's been finicky because when it's been good, it's the noticeable central part of Notre Dame's team. When 2015, 16, those years, you're thinking defense, you say Jalen Smith. 18, 19, 17, you're thinking Owusu-Koramoah. Then you throw Kyle Hamilton in there. So now you're thinking, okay, that's obviously an ingredient for us to be very successful. Even with us being a top 10 defense, we're talking about Ben Morrison. That's the furthest line of defense.
Yeah.
Xavier Watts, the last line of defense. You know what I mean? It's a lot of guys you got to get through to get to Xavier and Ben Morrison. So I think Marcus Freeman recognizes that. And just because those three coaches are like the heart and soul of the defense, let alone the team, that unit has to carry that weight and expectation of what they should be and look like. And I think the guys they recruited in that room can step up to that challenge from a physicality standpoint, an athletic standpoint. They got the youth. Like Max Bullock said, he said, hey, Last year, I was learning. The guys were teaching me. This year, all that stuff ain't gonna mean you're gonna be on the field. So they're looking to play the best, and I think that gives the competitive spirit in the room. That I think all of them will play and rotate, but it'd be nice to have that premier guy stand out.
Yeah. Speaking of that, this is what he said, and the opportunity going into the spring about his linebacker.
Looking at it much different. I solely looked at this last year like I was a linebacker coach. So I'm being honest with you, I'm not looking at it different. It's a lot different room than it was last year. Okay, we had a lot of guys that played a lot of snaps last year, guys that basically could teach me the defense when I came in here, right? And so when I go to meetings, I could kind of lean on them and those sorts of things. Well, that's gone. We have Jack Kaiser, who may be the smartest of the bunch, that's still here, but there's a lot of guys, you know, Kingston, Kia, even Drake, Snead, Jaden, you know, all those guys that haven't really played a lot. So there's going to be a little bit more coaching involved. But I think that's also fun because it kind of gives me the opportunity to put my spin on it. You know what I mean? And they say that the room takes over the, you know, the mentality or the personality of the position room or the position coach. And I think this year is really my first year to get the chance to do that.
See, I love this, dude. This is that Mike Tomlin school of coaching, bro. When Mike Tomlin said, I can't stand when coaches don't understand that there's a reason that you get paid the money you get paid to coach.
That's
like
right.
if your ability to coach is based upon the talent of the player, then you're not that good of a coach.
Yeah, and I think that applies to a lot of what happens on football teams when you get set into a certain standard. When you say, yeah, we had guys last year that set a certain standard. So the limit and ceiling of that room can only be at the extent of their senior leadership. So yeah, JD Bertrand and Maris, no matter, even if the young guys are more talented, you're looking at that room as those two are the standard in the room. With those guys being gone, and now you got this open window, all the potential for growth can be crazy. And that's why I think Max Bullock says this is my year one, is because now it's even playing field. One of these young guys can pop up and be the man and take us to the moon, and then have these other guys still chasing that, and we can build a stronger room. You're going to see a Notre Dame linebacking core play completely different because all the guys ahead of them are pretty much gone.
Yeah.
So now Jalen Snead got to figure it out. Jay Nosberry, figure it out. Drake Bowen, figure it out. They can't have a good old veteran Bertrand. Oh, I'll hold it down, guys. I'll communicate. Right? That's not there. Jack Kaiser, yeah, but Jack Kaiser blowing tackles when he's running through 2 holes. So it comes down to, okay, guys going to have to communicate and be big boys this year. Just like Steve. Steve can't be hanging out with Sam Hartman all day.
No.
And Riley ain't hanging out with Steve. I'll tell you that. If I was Steve, I wouldn't hang out with Riley. You know what I mean? So Steve's got to grow up and be like, okay, yeah, I can't go to these press conferences talking about buddy, I'm learning and I'm happy he's here and I'm getting him coffee and rubbing his feet.
So you're not feeling that, huh?
I don't think he can this year. He's not in a position to do that. So I do think that this inspires the group to be a lot better.
Mm.
And it's that transition of a team that's growing up. You know, last year, like, okay, we leaning heavy on these guys, these seniors, these transfers to put us in a good position. But then at the same time, after putting these guys in a good position, we also have to be able to inspire these young guys to want to take over the team, make it their own. So I think that's the best part of what's going on, is because now you look at it as Marcus Freeman is gaining his team.
Mm.
Before it was the transition. He's managing Jack Kaiser to finish. He's managing Maris to get through. He's guiding coaches that have already been on staff, working everything out. Now you're in a position, you get on an opportunity where you're in a real spot where this is your team. You know, these guys are looking towards you.
You know what, Lef? So we talked the things we wanted to see. But look, the number one position is quarterback. Like, I already know. I think I know what you want me to say on the phone about the quarterbacks. Because I venture to say you want me to mention two names before the other name, if I know you correct. You want the first names out of my mouth to be CJ and Kenny. Like, you don't even want to know about Riley and Steve, do you? Let's just keep it a buck. You want me to call you and say, yo, Kenny and CJ was slinging that rock, boy. This quarterback room, this quarterback battle should be pretty fun. And I think most people would agree with that, because I think most people feel like Riley Leonard eventually is going to end up being the starter, right? Most Notre Dame fans feel that way. They expect that. But I think after the first practice, if I were to report, man, the possible third and fourth quarterbacks in the room probably have the better arms and look real good, I think a lot of Notre Dame fans will feel really comfortable with that moving forward. How do you feel about that? Did we lose Left? We might have lost him. But how do you guys feel about that? Are you rocking with me on that? You rocking with me on that, guys? Like, hearing that the Notre Dame quarterback room, the true freshman and the sophomore, the redshirt freshman and the true freshman, were killing it, throwing the rock, look totally different. I think that's something that all of us, I think I would love to see it. I would definitely love to report it for you guys. And from a talent standpoint, I think they probably are the most talented quarterbacks in the room. From a talent standpoint, just flat out athletic talent. Riley's talented, but I don't think he has the same arm talent that I saw from Kenny. I want to see them up close next to each other. Now, I do want to see that up close next to each other. And we already heard about what CJ showed in the practices leading up to the Sun Bowl. So that should be pretty interesting. So let's get to some of your comments, man. You guys are fantastic today. Paul Olmstead said, I'm going to start black market selling the Girl Scout cookies at Big Macs in California. Paul, you definitely will make a profit. Landon Plensner says that Bo Collins finally looks like a 5-star. Hey, I would love nothing best than to see that and report that on this Wednesday. This Thursday. Jason Smith, I'm hoping this year there's more of a player-led accountability and leadership culture. We'll watch that play out. Coach Vic says Chris 4-flat Mitchell. You got to love it. Jason Smith, oh, man, you don't want to hear anything about Riley Leonard's Bible study. I promise you, I won't mention anything about his Bible study. It'll be about the player. It will definitely be about the on-field player. Southpaw 42 says, also, I want to hear about the D-line. You know what? The D-line is, because a lot of people, I've heard and seen a lot of Notre Dame fans with concerns about the defensive line, especially from a depth standpoint. Your top 4 D linemen are returning guys, man. When you talk about Riley Leonard, Riley Mills, Howard Cross, Jason Onye, and Gabriel Rubio.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I got you, Left.
Man, I was talking this whole dang time.
He had it on mute.
I'm like, why is he not listening?
You had a fabulous breakdown of the quarterback room there, Left. Fabulous. It was fantastic, dude. We all got it through osmosis. We picked up your vibe, your frequency, Left.
Oh man, I was in there really breaking it down and everything. Good grief. My goodness.
Oh man, I was like, yo, I guess we lost him. But go ahead, Left. What's your breakdown?
Well, listen. Well, one, I think just from the quarterback room itself, we're finally at a place where I think we can get excited for the unknown. Who knows? Do we have a Heisman guy in there? Do we have a Steve Angeli young buck that said enough is enough? Is it CJ Carr, Kenny Minchie? Like, I don't care who's in here with me. I'm looking to win. I like the uncomfortability. And then you get Denbrock in there. Yeah, we're going to compete. Oh, really? We competing with guys we paying $2 million to? So I do think that this is an opportunity to take a step forward. I think everybody can take a step forward as a program because it's in the right place.
Mm.
This is not no searching and hair on fire. We need to fill these big positions. We filled them in time. Denbrock's been working with the team sparingly. 2 days in the camp, we supposed to be like clockwork. Like, I'm sure when Nick Saban was there, it was clockwork. No matter who came in, who left, didn't matter. This is how it should be for Notre Dame.
Mm.
You see the difference with Alabama is now. Everybody's making fun of them because they don't look like the program they did before. And Kalen DeBoer is not Nick Saban. You know, it's a different way people run it, you know?
Yeah.
So it's time to get used to that process of churning out successful seasons, no matter who's coming in or out. And at this time, Marcus Freeman has nobody to blame. Hell, even your AD's gone. Your AD's gone. All the old coaches pretty much gone. Everybody looking at you say, now what? This is where, like we talked about 2 years ago, now we can evaluate Marcus Freeman.
Mm.
Now we're going to see if you're a program builder. Now we're going to see if what Jack did 3 years ago was worth it. Now. Because you got your team now. Got your quarterback. Got your quarterback coming in. Because that's what he's going to be judged off of now. Who's your quarterback, Marcus Freeman? We know you get defense going. Who are you going with that legacy? Yeah, we won a championship under who? Kenny, Deuce, Riley Leonard. Coach Kelly got a nice little roster to the end. So Dabo's defined by who he got at quarterback. The only person that's not defined, the two people that aren't defined by who they have as quarterback as coaches, are Nick Saban and Kirby Smart. Everybody else that's a great coach is defined by their quarterback.
Mm.
Dan Lanning, Bo Nix.
That's an amazing point. You're right. Nick Saban, it didn't matter who his quarterback was.
Steve Sarkisian, Quinn Ewers, Ed Orgeron, Joe Burrow. If we ain't talking about the quarterback making you good look good, you're just another coach. Kalen DeBoer, Michael Penix Jr., period. So the only coaches you can't attribute success to without their quarterback is Nick Saban and Kirby Smart. We know Lincoln Riley can't go nowhere without no quarterback.
Mm.
So Marcus Freeman this is the chance, Marcus Freeman. You can cross into the threshold of doing it one or two ways. Being defined by your quarterback or you being a great coach. Hell, Mac Brown got Vince Young. It ain't got off of that success since Vince Young made Mac Brown who Mac Brown is today. Vince Young. Because what's the success of Mac Brown without Vince Young? See? So I think, we revere Dabo so much. Prime example. We revere Dabo extremely at a high level because of his quarterbacks. Well, the two or three that he had. Because I'm considering Taj Boyd being that. So for us, I think it's important to find a guy that we can say that's our guy.
Mm-hmm.
But for Marcus Freeman, he's in that space to where maybe you're just a great program builder. It don't matter who you got, which is a great way to continue to have a legacy and success. That's where you have a program dynamic change is when it's like, oh, if he calls, I know I'm going to be in a good spot. When Nick Saban calls you or called you, He's gonna be like, look, you're gonna have an opportunity to play for an SEC championship every year, a national championship every year, and there's first round guys on the team every year. You're not gonna practice harder, and you're not gonna practice against better players every day. I mean, what's a better selling point than that? He said every day is a better competition than what's out there. And you're going to be in a late in the season championship run. I'm guaranteeing you this, and you ain't even at school yet. Who else can say that in the country? So that's the difference.
Lucky Lefty podcast, man. I'm here to tell you, bro. I'm excited, man. This young talent, I can't wait to see. People talk about the defensive line. They mentioned SHAUN Sevillano, Bryce Young Jr. Bryce Young and what they're going to do. Look, I can't wait to see your boy Aeneas Williams, who I think is undervalued by a lot of Notre Dame fans.
Yes, I agree with that. But also, I don't want him to be undervalued by the coaching staff because they're going to be like, well, where do you put him? It don't matter. He's just naturally not going to get the love and the versatility shown in the running back room, in my opinion, because we already got our mind set on what that needs to look like. So he might have to do some stuff, and I think he'd be a great punt returner.
Yeah.
And I think he'd be great working with the receivers half the week because he's a bigger body than the receivers that we got right now.
Yeah.
And I think for real, Jaden Thomas be a great tight end. I think
so you would think about moving him to like more of an H-back, not H-back, but more of a, I see what you're saying.
More of a flank. He's right off the line of scrimmage. He may not be his hand in the dirt, but he on the hip of the tackle. You just standing up. Because he getting bigger every time I see him. That's not a bad. But man, I can't believe every time I'm seeing, I'm like, man, you getting just a lot bigger every time. Like, you know how Cam Hart looked the same.
Right.
You're not. He just looked like that. But Jaden Thomas is like, you really hitting them weights and it's showing or something. I think he's more the size of like a slimmer version of a Tommy Tremble. Maybe it's because you got that big number 83. That's just a big number. I know Deion Coles got 16. He looked like a 16. He built like a 16.
Right.
Jaden Thomas is a damn near on the verge of a tight end build, like, which I think with his route running and where the game is in the NFL and all that, he'd be great. We know he blocked.
Right.
So it just we just saying moving pieces around. You know what I mean? If Denbrock's talking about we're spreading it out, that's flanked out or spread out slot or tight end position could be a Jaden Thomas.
Yeah.
You know? So I don't want to diminish his role on the team, but it's not like to say our tight ends can't do that either. But the football's a game of matchups. So at some point, I think it's about getting all the players as much on the field as you can and being able to use that. And so for the running backs, for the receivers, like, we found so many opportunities for a guy like Jordan Faison, if you think about it.
Yeah.
I mean, Jordan Faison found a lot of opportunity in a room where we didn't even know he was making a splash for real. So that's where Aeneas Williams can come in and circle the conversation. Aeneas Williams can fit in where Jordan Faison found opportunity.
Yeah. And he has the right OC to do it with Mike Denbrock.
That's right. And I think he's a bigger player and everything. So you can put him at running back. He can get handed off. He can do the because I think he's just an outlier when you think of who are you looking for on the team to plan against.
Yeah.
Looking for the Chris Mitchells, the Bows, the Jadarian Price, the Jeremiah Loves, the tight ends. But then you put that Aeneas Kyron Williams back there because they got the same last name. You know, I just think if we got a Williams and they wear 23, treat them the same. If they got Williams and they wear 23, treat them the same. Kyron Williams was a running back, absolutely. But when we need to win games, hey, Kyron, scoot out some, play in some space. Just because it's not even so much of you being able to catch it. It's just now you caught it and they can't tackle you because that's your game. They can't tackle you. We just threw it to you instead of handed it to you. That ability is where he flourishes at. And they from St. Louis. So they got the last name. They both wear 23 and they from St. Louis. I think those are 3 reasons why you should treat them the same type of player. They got the same build, damn near. So
Lilo Galante with the get to the bag question for you, Left, what's your take on San Diego? Might be moving out there, just got back from vacation, kids soccer tournament.
Well, technically, San Diego kind of dangerous unless you got some
guap.
Yeah. So if you Tyler Buckner chilling in La Jolla, the world is your oyster. Now you're gonna be out there now. You're on the edge of nowhere, but apparently San Diego dangerous. So I don't know your financial situation, but there's just like anywhere else, plenty of nice places to be, plenty of places you probably don't want to be. But overall, San Diego, man, is PCB, that strip of all type of fun stuff, and a slower pace than LA. So don't be thinking you finna, living the high life. It's pretty slow, man. It's just weird too. I mean, I'm coming from the Midwest with this experience, so if you already been out here, then. But it's the soccer tournament stuff. It's like, yeah, they got that, but it's just very. It's not as gritty. It's just like we having a good time.
San Diego would not sit at the top of my California rankings. I am definitely more of a Southern California, Los Angeles guy when I was younger. Right now, I'm probably more of an Orange County guy.
Yeah. That type of dude.
I'm more of an OC guy. And then certain areas in LA or right outside of LA. San Diego is a nice one-day trip. Go in, do what you got to do.
Yeah, it's one of those places. Like, it is kind of what it is. Like, you make the most out of anywhere, obviously, but you want to be in a position where you just like where you are, I guess. Obviously you make the place, not the place make you, kind of thing. So the weather give you anything you want. That's what you're coming out here for, essentially, because it ain't the prices. Now you're gonna feel like that's why it's like California is either one or the other. Either you coming out here to ball crazy and it's everything you wanted to be, or you're just like trying to ball crazy.
It's like, yo, dude, this is my true story. So in all of my years of going to New York, I'm this type of person, Left. When I was younger, I'm not this type of person anymore. I've grown out of it. But I was able to travel a lot in my early 20s.
Yeah.
And I've been to Queensbridge. I've been to Marcy Projects. I've been to Harlem. I've been to Bed-Stuy. Like, just being a hip hop head, I always wanted to go to these famous places, right? So I never forget, my best friend was an exec for Sony BMG for several years. And I used to go on these business trips with him, right?
Yeah.
And so one time we went to New York and he was like, yo, what you want to do? I was like, yo, I want to go to the tunnel. And he was like, what? I was like, I want to go to the tunnel, dog. I'm like, wait, you don't come to New York and not go to the tunnel. He was like, dog, we are not going to the tunnel.
Wow.
And like, I was mad at this dude for years, right? Until we got into the podcast area and people started talking about like what happened at the tunnel every week and what the crowd was really like. I was like, oh, now I get it.
Yeah.
Now I get why you didn't want to go to the tunnel. So, like, dude, that's the thing about not growing up somewhere, right? You hear stories and you want to visit the place and see what it's all about. And San Diego has some fabulous places, like Lev said, Loyola. How do you pronounce it? Is it La Jolla?
It's La Jolla.
La Jolla. Okay. La Jolla. Like Lev, I have no desire to go drive through Compton. None.
See, and that's the thing that you'll be excited about because you should, because it's actually pretty nice and it's bigger than what you expect. And a lot more of it is it's funny because you'll drive through Compton and be like, man, these are really nice areas. Because they are. It's just you gotta know where you at and all that, but
Yeah, it's like any other place. You make a turn down the wrong street.
But to turn down the wrong street in Compton, you wouldn't know it because it's nice neighborhoods, you know.
Yeah.
It's,
Yeah.
so, but which makes it like, oh yeah, you still want to, like, for instance, there's places in Compton that are better than places in Beverly Hills and just as expensive.
Mm-hmm.
So that's the thing about LA. It's like, yeah, you get a real like Ladera, where you're going, great area. 2 streets over, terrible area.
Yeah.
Literally, like you're like, oh shit. Now, is that drastic of a difference? But it's just like how Compton is. So, but also you're not gonna be like because everything is pretty straightforward. So for you to be turning on the wrong street, you're like literally trying to be lost. Or you know what I'm saying? Like you have to go out your way to turn on the wrong street thing. That's the misconception about LA, because anywhere you're trying to go outside the house, you're gonna be on 1 or 2 streets anyway, because everything just goes forever. So yeah, you obviously you look for whatever you're trying to find, you're gonna find it. But
bro, yeah, stop. Hey, look, I was a knucklehead, bro. Like I was literally like going to New York on trips, like, yo, take me to Mars.
Yeah, all of that. See, I wouldn't suggest doing none of that.
Man, I was on some dumb, man. God, thank you for your grace, bro. Because I was on some dumb. I was on some dumb. I was like, yo, take me to this spot. I want to see that spot.
Exactly. That's not, I wouldn't suggest that. I'm just saying, like, if you, for instance, you going down Manchester, for you to be going into a situation or a street where you're like, what's down there? Like, you wouldn't even be down there. You know what I'm saying? You'll just stay on Manchester till you get to a main highway. It wouldn't even be a reason to pull off on the side. So, or Figueroa or something, because Figueroa goes through the whole LA, just like Rose Creek. So obviously,
bro, I'm here to tell you, man, I've gotten much wiser as I've lived. And I realized, like, yo, but like I said, you know, you hear these things in songs and you grow up hearing about these areas, and people do the same thing for Chicago right now with 63rd.
Right. Yeah.
I want to see where King Von came from. I want to see where this person. It's like, dude.
It's the same thing in Ladera. When you come out here, they're gonna be like, "Oh, I want to see the Nipsey thing," because it's literally 2 minutes from where you at.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Literally, like, you get on the street, where the little Ralph's is, where you see things. You go 2 minutes down the street, you'll be like, "Oh, that's where the Nipsey stuff took place." But that's not a place where people are necessarily. I mean, you get some people that's trying to like take pictures, but that's not the cool thing to do. Like, it's more of, I'm driving by. Oh, that's where it's at. Cool, I saw it. And at most, you going to Randy's Donuts through the drive-thru. You ain't just hopping out, like, no. So, but that's obvious stuff. You know, that's stuff that you learn growing up. Because hell, first of all, you got stuff to do. Half the time you on your way to going to an event, you going to work. Hell, you going to eat. You'll find the 2 places you'll like the best is right next to you. You got the Court Cafe. This is when you exit the neighborhood, the Court Cafe. And then you got the Pans, where they shot the Cardi B Pepsi commercial for the Super Bowl.
Mm-hmm.
And then everything after that, you're gonna have your spots, you know. So I'm excited when you come out here to see where your spots gonna be at. But everything being gentrified, half of it ain't even that bad anyway. You're gonna see people you wouldn't expect in the neighborhood. Just running. you know your neighborhood nice when you got the people with the AirPods just running middle of the day.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, you must work from home or something, you know. you running with your dog in the middle of this crazy traffic. You know, people don't do that, so you can see how it's changing as it's going.
Lucky Lefty podcast, man. Yeah, man. I'm not doing it, Left. I can't do it anymore, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got away with it, boy, for a long time. A long time. But your boy,
It's
man.
chill.
Oh, man. I go to the market. I go to, Beverly Hills, man. I stay in Pasadena. I'm going to all the places where I'm like, hey, the last thing I'm worried about is something popping off. I already told you I was this close to getting hemmed up by Quavo's security. The last time I came out there, dude.
Not even trying to.
No, because you know how you see somebody and you're trying to make sure, like, oh man, is that them? And I was staring. I have to admit, I was staring too hard.
But that's so lame, I think, too. It's like, dang, if I ain't never seen you, right? And you catch me by surprise, I would have been like, bro, you caught me by surprise. I didn't think I was gonna be next to, you know what I'm saying? So I'm trying to really be like, okay, all right, that's who. And it's so funny how you gotta play it because everybody plays it differently. Like I remember I got on the elevator at the Lakers game.
Yeah.
And I was a Rich the Kid. It was just me and Rich the Kid in there. Just me and Rich the Kid in the elevator.
Yeah.
And I'm like, is it lame to try to rap a song I really like with him? You know what I'm saying? Because I really want to be like, oh, bro, that's my song. Like, or is that doing, you see, or is that doing too much? It's like, I ain't never gonna see you again, bro. I might have to kick a couple bars that I appreciate you had. You know what I'm saying? So I think in those moments where you see somebody like that you see all the time, but you never see in person, it's almost like I didn't even think he was real. Right? Nowadays, like I've never met Whitney Houston. Have you ever met Whitney Houston?
No.
So don't you think, like, is she real? Like I know you've seen her on TV and all that, but is she real? And I'm sure you would have that kind of like shock when you see her in person. Is all I'm saying.
Yeah. Yeah.
Just like you told the story about your wife seeing her hall pass.
Yeah.
It's just like a shock. You like, man, I would have never ever expected. And you halfway can't blame people for their first reaction because they just like, wow, I didn't even.
Facts. Yeah, I agree with that.
You know,
I agree with that. I've rarely been like that. I'm disrespectful. Like I've run into like Chance multiple times, and I'm so good. Chance, it's like seeing Chance the rapper is like,
yeah.
You know, just
like,
being from the land. Yeah. But in the same breath, if I walked in a room with Kanye, it probably wouldn't be like that.
That's what I'm saying. Like, what would you do if it's different?
I was around when Kanye and Don C were like coming up in the city. So like seeing them is like, but Kanye is like still kind of holds like a certain level where you're like, all right, that's Ye over there.
Like I ran into Little Dirk on the Wednesday in the airport line. You know, you go through TSA.
Yeah.
And it was just me and him, and because you only can go one at a time. So I just happened to be. I'm like, no way, bro. Like, you know what I mean?
Dude, the first two times I flew into LA, I was on the plane with Ty Dolla.
Really?
Like, I went back to LA and was coming back home and was on the same flight with Ty Dolla. And I'm like, yo, why is this cat Ty Dolla coming back and forth to Chicago? It was messing me up. Like I wasn't even worried about the fact that was Ty Dolla. I'm like, why is this dude in Chicago?
Yeah, you just start these questions like I can't believe.
Right.
Yeah, so I was thinking like, okay, my favorite same airport type of situation. I walked on the plane and Mike Tyson sitting right there. So when I saw Mike Tyson, I said, "Oh shoot, that's Mike Tyson." So I had to say something.
Let me tell you this, Left. True story. So my boy, his wife now, at the time it was his girlfriend, she stayed in Brooklyn. So we go to New York, he's on business, I'm with him, I'm kicking it. And we go to her apartment. You know, she had a little apartment in Brooklyn. So, you know, we go to Ruthie's. If you're ever in Brooklyn and you want some cook to order soul food, go to Ruthie's. Man, Left, you talk about pork chops, smothered, man. But I digress. We go to her, we take our food back to her apartment to eat. You on mute, by the way, Left. We take our food back to the apartment to eat, and we notice, we didn't get anything to drink. So he's like, let's run to the corner store. They got a little liquor store right there on the corner. We walk up in the liquor store, and Common and Mos Def walk in. Now, my boy's in the industry, so he's just moving around. I'm literally stuck holding a bag of cookies. Like, bro, that's Mos Def and Common. It was like literally one of my fanboy moments. Like, I don't know if you guys have ever had a fanboy moment. It was funny because Caitlin Clark had a fangirl moment because Sue Bird came to their practice this week before their game yesterday. And like the video, it was real cool just to see like the biggest story in like college basketball right now on either side, fanning over Sue Bird coming to Iowa's practice. That was just real cool. And that was me in this corner store in Brooklyn. Like, I'm literally just looking at Common and Mos Def like, that's Common and Mos Def, And that's the type of vibe you get in certain areas. There's a lot of artists, actors, like they'll just live in these neighborhoods, these random neighborhoods in Brooklyn. And you'll just, bump into them walking down the street or going to the corner store. It's crazy. And that's all over. It's the same thing in LA, man. You'll just bump into somebody or see somebody out. And it's pretty cool. It's pretty cool. I did see Lilo say, I think you said, look, Lilo, if you can find a really good spot, because I love, my wife and I for years have gone and vacationed in Oceanside. They have a beautiful beachfront, some nice condos on the beachfront. I know you would be looking for something else with your family, but I am a huge fan of Carlsbad. Carlsbad has one of the best outlet malls in the entire state of California. They have one of my favorite diners there. They have some of the best cinnamon French toast you'll ever eat. Some of the best turkey burgers at this diner. I think is it Andy's Diner? No, it's not Andy's. I forget the name of the diner. So yeah, I'm a huge Oceanside and Carlsbad fan. So definitely, if you can find a spot in either one of those places, I say do it. Absolutely do it. Lucky Lefty Podcast. Left, you still there? Maybe he dropped off again. If you're talking, you're on mute, bro. You know what time it is.
Petticoat. Petticoat Junction.
It's time to get petty.
Oh, we did a good job executing.
Are you upset with something?
And fire up the Petticoat Junction train.
I just don't like you.
You don't?
No.
What is today's petty history? Petty Junction.
Petty Junction, Petty Story today brought to you by ONORA Whiskey, ONORAWhiskey.com, that premium American whiskey, ONORAWhiskey.com. Ladies and gentlemen, I present to you for the Petty Train, LeBron James.
What would you tell 18-year-old LeBron about the journey to becoming an Olympic gold medalist, a four-time champion, and now scoring 40,000 points?
I wouldn't tell him anything, honestly, because 18-year-old LeBron had a great head on his shoulders. He just did. He was put in a position where I wouldn't wish too many 18-year-old kids to be put into. But he just had his head in the best possible position. He was raised the right way by his mother. He was raised the right way by his little league coaches. He was held accountable by his friends. He met a young lady in school that held him down well, and then he just told himself, if you want to make a real name for yourself and your last name and your family and your friends and your city, the only way it's going to happen if you just stay focused and maintain focus and put in the work. Besides my family and my friends and my city, and then some people in my city as well, because we even know some of them people, to be quite honest with you, everybody wanted to see me fail when I got to the league. Everybody was just like, it's no way he's going to be able to exceed, the expectations that's put upon him.
LeBron James, hey, man, stop lying, man.
Oh, here we go.
Stop lying. Nobody wants to see you fail. Man, stop lying.
Well, wait.
Just stop. Stop. I'm tired of this dude, man.
Technically,
he cannot. He's one of these dudes that does not know how to handle love and admiration and success. Like when somebody is showering him with love, he goes into this victim mode, man. It's like, bro, do you know how blessed you are? Do you have any idea how blessed, how God touched you physically and with talents and put them into the body and frame that you have? That is God-given, dude. One of one. Do you know how blessed you are? And you sitting up here talking about people wanting to see you fail. Man, shut up. Shut up. The man asked you about passing 40,000 points. And man, honestly, everybody outside of my family and the city and everybody that wasn't close to me wanted to see me fail. Man, stop lying. Shut up. If that's the case, they wanted to see Kobe fail. They wanted to see Michael Jordan fail. Hey, go watch the Magic Johnson documentary. There were people that wanted to see. What are you talking about?
Wait, so are you saying that it's not uncommon that people wanted to see you fail, or you said nobody wanted to see you fail?
Dude, to whom much is given, much is required.
Right. So he's always speaking on that.
Dude,
true.
That's not the truth. So everybody outside of Akron didn't want to see you fail. Stop lying. Just because it comes with the territory, don't try to make it a bigger story like everybody outside of my circle wanted to see me fail. Man, get the heck out of here. Everybody great has haters. What are you now you trying to make it much bigger than what it is? It's par for the course, man. What are you talking about?
But that's what I'm saying. He's saying that everybody has haters.
That's not what he's saying. He specifically said everybody outside of my inner circle in my city wanted to see me fail in the NBA. That's not true.
Okay. Well,
that's not true.
That's probably not true.
You're doing too much. You're trying to take what is just regular hate for greatness. Regular hate for greatness and turn it to everybody. Man, stop. He makes it so much worse for himself.
Do you agree though the natural hate part could be attributed to the fact that he was starting at 17 in the NBA. Like, that's just a natural thing that people are going to be like, oh, you're not finna make it. You 17 in the NBA coming out of high school. That's an overreaching narrative, though, that you can consider everybody wanted me to fail, though. His own team was hating on him. Carlos Boozer and all them boys was hating on him at that time. I'm just saying, I think that he is a grifter. So he going to add a little extra for no reason. You know, he want them put the cherry on top and make you really want to feel it emotionally kind of thing. But I do think he has a base point of saying, I beat the odds and overcame and overachieved in the expectations, which is fine. I think that's what we love him for, because at the end of the day, 40,000 points is hard to do. And so to see him do it, it's like, man, that's a longevity award. So I think that just holds a different category than saying you're the best player of all time. I think it's like just a longevity award where it's like, okay, you know how to beat the system. But then, you know what's so crazy? That Alex Rucker thing that came out, that's what I wanted to add to the petty train.
Mm-hmm.
This NBA scorer in the 90s, Alex Rucker, came out and was talking about they used to cook books to make the star players on the team seem more attractable. Like John Stockton, like he had 8 assists in the game, but they'll record keep it and say he had 10.
Oh, dude, that's the same thing they do for tackles in the NFL today. Dude, that ain't.
You think they do that with tackles in the league?
Yeah, they do that. Are you kidding me?
I think it's easy to do it. I think it's easy to do it, but I don't know how. I don't know. I have never to it.
Immediately after the game, Brian Urlacher would have 7 tackles. By the time it got the Monday afternoon, that dude had 12 tackles, an extra half a sack. Oh man, are you kidding me? It never without fail.
Oh, like it was like a standard. Like they're pumping.
Lance Briggs talks about it to this day. He's like, yo, that cat Brian Urlacher is my boy, but I don't know how that dude ended up with 3 extra tackles every week.
Oh, like he's like, it's just I'm watching the same film he watches.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. And the score card.
Lance Briggs would be like, I would get that first, and this dude would jump on the pile
and get a tackle.
And get a half a tackle or a tackle. Yes.
So when I heard that, I'm like, oh well, I don't know what they doing, LeBron. Because now I'm like, was LeBron averaging 30 since the beginning? Because that's what they try to break down. They're like, to get 40,000 points now, you have to average 30 for 20-something years. But I'm like, I don't remember LeBron just averaging 30 his whole career type thing.
No, he definitely not his whole career.
But man, so stat padding is it's
definitely real. To the day.
You can't do it for touchdowns.
Yeah, you gotta watch it. Watch that quarterback yardage too.
But you can't do it for touchdowns.
No.
You see what I'm saying? So what? So that's why I guess I guess you can put it on
tackles.
Yards. The tackles is funny.
Tackles, linebackers. Oh my dude, you got a good statistician for your team. You can definitely pad tackles.
Do you think Notre Dame don't do that, do they? Because they should definitely be boosting us.
Hey, I 100% but I 100% bet that they padded Manti's stats. Right? Especially when he's up for the Heisman.
Yeah. Because I'm like, is Manti that much better than Jalen? Like for real, like he had that much more going on than Jalen. Because I thought Jalen was more athletic or whatever, but still. I'm like, for him to be in the Heisman race and be actually possibly considered, they had to have done something.
Man.
Because we ain't never seen that again. That's what I'm saying. It'd be different if it was every year. We have never seen Manti's run as a defensive linebacker anywhere else. So I'm sure. But is it tackles you boost?
Tackles, PBUs. You can probably fudge a little bit. They definitely fudge sacks. Yeah, cats get half sacks just coming
Yeah,
in
'cause
late.
that's probably how Isaiah Foskey done got him up there. Because I don't remember him just to have that many sacks. You really are making games memorable. Like you got like Jordan type memories because them sacks done came. Like Chase Young got memorable sacks.
Yes.
So Isaiah Foskey's not thought of the same light as that, and he got the sacks, most sacks of all time. Even Justin Tuck, I'm sure, got some memorable sacks. It's Justin Tuck. But I don't know. Did we cook Josh Adams numbers?
I guess you can. Rushing yards can be cooked a little bit.
Because he was up for Heisman, 33 trucking, that whole thing.
Dude, on the play, I laugh about this all the time. On the play that Walter Payton broke the all-time rushing record of Jim Brown, he was 7 yards short, and I think they marked him down for an 8-yard gain, and it was not an 8-yard gain. Just go watch it. It was like, and I laugh with his son all the time about it. Like, bro, I mean, he broke it the very next rush. So, I mean, it was going to happen. But it just goes to show you, man, you can really, you can fudge some stuff. Rebounds. Oh,
the rebound thing is crazy, too.
Dennis Rodman would personally tip the ball 2 or 3 times because that's a rebound. You know what I'm saying? Like, if you get an offensive rebound, you try to tip it and it hits the rim, it doesn't go in. See, you tip it again, that's another rebound.
All this talk is making me not like it now. I'm getting mad now.
Hey, man, I'm just trying to tell you, man. You asked the question. I'm telling you the truth. You're darn right. They fudge stats.
Because it brings up the Caitlin Clark situation. I'm like, listen, Caitlin Clark would not survive in the G League or the NBA.
Well, that's not even the case. Caitlin Clark is a great story. Caitlin Clark is good for Caitlin Clark. See, this is the blessing of it, ladies and gentlemen, because I don't think we've seen this, in my opinion. With Caitlin Clark carrying the flag for women's basketball at the top, and Juju Watkins and Hannah Hidalgo carrying the flag as they come in, women's basketball is at a fantastic place right now.
From an attraction standpoint.
Yes. Yes. And when you have men, who was it? Andre Iguodala and Evan Turner have a podcast.
Right.
That cat Evan Turner was like, hey, y'all need to watch this chick, Hannah Hidalgo. She's done something that's never been done. The run she's had has never been done in men or women's college basketball. The stats he's put up. He's like, it's never been done. And she's a freshman. You need to tune in. See, when you get that type of coverage, women's basketball, man, I hope they take advantage of it, bro. On top of the fact that no one's talking about the fact that South Carolina is undefeated. Like, no, dude, everybody's talking about all these different Caitlin Clark, Juju Watkins, and meanwhile, South Carolina is just down there like, yep, we smacking everybody.
They beat LSU yet? Yeah, they beat them too.
They beat LSU twice.
Yeah.
They beat Tennessee yesterday. Tennessee was the first team not to lose by double digits at South Carolina this year.
Oh, okay. So this one of them.
It's one of them. It's man, it is really it's a great season. I think the women's tournament is going to be spectacular. There's so many storylines, and it's really setting up for a fantastic and absolutely fantastic March Madness for the women's game. It really is. And John Massey, you're right. That cat Wembanyama has found it.
But it's almost like autopilot now because he almost
can't
go out there and not get 20 and 10 because it's just too easy. He play above the rim, so it's like, man, the league is getting impossible. Because another dude from France is coming the same size.
He ain't Wemby, though. He ain't. Wemby is him, bro.
You think so?
Boy, I enjoyed watching him and Chet go at it the other night because it was.
I like Chet attitude.
Chet had a good game. It was like, that's the crazy thing. Chet was balling, but Wemby was on some. He was on, man.
Because he can shoot. He creative in the paint. And the fact that I can't get over how he's like dunking outside the circle.
Mm-hmm.
And how his reach just keeps going. I'm like, ain't no way he can reach that far.
You remember the original movie, not that lame thing LeBron James did.
Rendition.
Yeah.
Like the
Not that crap. But the original movie, when they all tackled Michael Jordan and that dude's arm
it looks exactly like that.
That is Victor Wembanyama in real life, bro. In real life.
Because I'm like, he's so far, it's no way he can just he don't even overextend. It's just his arm, the ball just goes right in. I remember the first time he did it, and the dude guarding was like, how is this even possible, dude? He dunked over top of me on some like, I got a arm type thing.
Carmelo, who I love his podcast with Mero, is absolutely fabulous. I think it's called 7 p.m. in Brooklyn.
Yep.
If I'm not mistaken. He was like, yo, there's nothing new under the sun, and people need to stop saying that Wembanyama is just like he's breaking the mold. He was like, no. He was like, Wembanyama is the evolution of KD. He was like, he is KD 5 inches taller. He was like, remember when KD came in the league? He was like, we've never seen a dude this tall that can shoot, that can dribble. He was like, it's the same things we're saying about Victor Wembanyama.
Hold on.
He said, but no. He makes sense because he broke it down with other players. He was like, dude, when you have these kids, he was like, these kids have to grow up seeing somebody doing it, and then they go put it into their games. He was like, if you never have anybody to look at, your game is never going to come to life. The way he explained it, he was like, as a hooper, I'm telling you, I would have never been Carmelo Anthony without watching this guy, and this guy.
Yeah, you take bits and pieces, like, from
exactly.
Players.
Exactly. So what he's saying is, he said, you're going to see Victor Wembanyama. And 15, 20 years from now, there's a kid that's going to grow up watching him, and that's going to take his game to the next level. And he said, I don't know what that is. He said, but it's coming. He said it's going to be a 7'5", 7'6" kid that can do something that Victor Wembanyama was not able to do. He said that's how the game is. He was like, that's just how the game works. And I was like, yo, that's crazy.
But that's what I'm talking about, though, because we're getting to a point in basketball where at the end of the day, it's going to be hard to be teaching 7'5", 7'6". So certain things are just for certain guys. It's just one of one. That's why I do think it does evolve into these things that we can't explain. You look at Wembanyama's aggressiveness and his attack around the rim, and he even be cherry picking at times. KD wasn't like that. KD was a perimeter player, always been a perimeter player that, because of his size, had to work down low a couple times, and his game evolved from the basket. To the basket. Wembanyama from the basket.
Now, see, this is where I push back. I don't think Victor Wembanyama is the natural scorer that KD was. KD, from the time he was in high school, was a walking bucket.
Right.
You go watch Victor Wembanyama 2 years ago when Chet was giving him the business for Team USA. He was not a scorer. He has just become this kid recently because Team USA was smacking friends. Like, that's the same dudes that he's killing in the NBA. They were smacking friends.
Well, that's an adjustment period too.
That's what I'm saying. KD, at the age of 15, KD was a walking bucket. It wasn't something he had to evolve into. He has always been a walking bucket. Always. That's something Victor Wembanyama was mainly, when he first came on the scene, it was him blocking shots.
Right, that's what I'm saying. He wasn't
doing all that other stuff. He wasn't a scorer.
Right. That's what I'm saying. KD and him wasn't the same. That was my point.
Yeah.
I think KD came in, like you said, as a scorer.
Yeah.
When Thomas, like he started doing defensive stuff first. And then you just add the fact that, okay, he's a defensive monster, as you would expect, Rudy Gobert type of player. And then he starts shooting.
Yeah.
And then he starts running transition. And then he starts going between the legs. You're like, hold on now, what is this? Turning around jumpers. Yeah, we ain't seen nothing like that. The Space Jam dunk is just something that I don't care who's watching it, what kid growing up. Some people just can't do that, man.
And in the same breath, we could say this. As cold as Victor has been, if he goes head, as cold as he's been playing,
his team's terrible.
He still ain't ready for Embiid. Not right now.
Ready in what way? Like
physically. Joel Embiid would eat him up every time they see each other. He's not ready.
He's not gonna do nothing with him in the paint.
No.
But hell, Joel ain't punishing people in the paint that often either.
He put 70 on Victor's head. I know that. I know that.
Who was that?
When he saw Victor Wembanyama, he put 70 on his head and put him in the rim a couple of times. See, that's what I'm talking about, bro.
Said put him in the rim?
Man, put him in the rim multiple times. Yeah. So all of that stuff we seeing, like, oh man, he blocking shots over here, over there. Yeah. Until he faces that cat. Joel Embiid. No, you still not ready for that, young man. You got some more growing up to do.
Yeah.
You know,
he don't because he thinly built right now. So that's all good.
But the stuff he's doing, like, you know, that's we would never think, like, we thought we would never see anybody close to Mike, and it was crazy that Kobe came on his coattails. And Kobe was very honest, like, yo, I patterned my game after Mike.
But that's a skill thing. We talking about freaking like this city. We used to think Giannis was that freak.
Man, Giannis is a freak. You talking about a dude that dominates with absolutely zero skill? Give me Giannis' skill.
That's what I'm not saying Giannis' skill. I'm saying Giannis is just, you can't teach ability. Man, that's what NBA's turn into. Stuff you just find in the mountains of basketball land, where it's like regular guy that go to Simeon right now. If he ain't got no elite trait, it's gonna be hard to get to the league. And elite physical trait. If you ain't at this point with Wembanyama setting a new standard, if you ain't at that size, there's no way you going first pick.
But see, there are some things that Victor does not have that are going to give him problems. See, this is for me, this is what's fair. Bron has if Bron had like elite handle, Bron doesn't have elite handle. If Bron had elite handle, that would be unfair, bro. If Bron had a just pure natural jumper that he didn't have to work on and develop, if Giannis had an outside shot, it would be unfair. That's what makes basketball or sports in general so great. Like, people are blessed, but they're given areas where, yo, I'm not going to bless you all the way in that area. I have to make it interesting.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Have to make it interesting. Because if I just give you everything, you know, if Jokic had vertical jump, what are we talking about, Left? If that cat Jokic could actually jump off the floor,
his game wouldn't be the same, though.
But I'm just saying, if he could jump 4 inches higher, Left,
I think it would only affect his defense.
But that now he's a more complete player. He's an even more complete player. That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. Like, dude, it would make him incredible. But him as he is like, it's good enough. It's good enough for you to be who you're going to be.
I know I don't want to see Wembanyama in year 10. He's gonna be crazy.
No, he's gonna be what he's supposed to be. But even at that point, he's going to have a way to beat him. You can beat him. Teams are just gonna have to figure it out. Lucky Lefty podcast. It's gonna be interesting, bro. It's gonna be interesting. Check this one out though.
Don't brag about any other play-in teams, do we? I understand Steph is great and LeBron is great. Ain't nobody worried about the Lakers and the Warriors in the West.
You don't think so?
I would say this, Chuck.
Okay, go ahead and say it, Killer.
If Tom Brady was in a play-in situation, you'd be like, that's Tom Brady.
Yeah.
So that's what LeBron and Steph are.
Yeah, 3 years ago. Man, nobody's worried about the Lakers and the Warriors. They're playing good right now. But let me tell you something. These teams in the West are not worried about the Lakers and the Warriors. We be kissing these guys' ass so much. We don't brag about the number 9 teams in the East. They ain't got no chance. The Lakers and the Warriors, they're on a little spell. They're doing well. LeBron was amazing last night. But they're not going to beat those teams up top,
But
period.
it's two of the best players that
Ever. I understand. They are. But they're not no threat to those teams in the West. So stop juicing them up.
Okay.
Yo, look. And the reason I put Chuck on the petty train is because Chuck, you're in TV. You know why the Lakers and the Warriors are talked about. Because the face of the league play for their teams. You know what it is. That's money. That's business, right? You put the Lakers on TV, it drives up ratings. Why? LeBron James. It's real simple. But I agree with his sentiment, though, Left. I agree wholeheartedly with his sentiment.
I think wholeheartedly that's hating too, though.
Oh, that's why I put him on the petty train.
Because it's the Notre Dame effect. Why is Notre Dame relevant? They ain't won nothing. It's because, especially in basketball, you got to prove you're better than LeBron 7 games. I just think that's a tough task for a team like the Timberwolves, who is based on a player with other role players. Anthony Edwards' star quality at this juncture, I don't think mixed with experience, he can beat LeBron 7 games.
I just want to remind you, you did see that spanking that Jokic gave them on Friday, right?
I didn't say Jokic.
Oh, I'm just saying. You said it because it only took them 4 games. They didn't even need the 7 games.
Charles Barkley said Western Conference Finals. That was a Western Conference semifinals, right?
All I'm saying is, if you can talk about OKC, Minnesota, that inexperience, all of that.
Those top teams.
Jokic is still in the West. That's all I'm saying. That dude is still in the West, and he's still smacking AD. I'm a Chicago dude. That dude smacks AD every time they play.
But yeah, wait.
Jokic outplays Anthony Davis every single time they play.
Not every time.
Okay, go look at the matchups. Every single time they play, he outplays AD.
Yeah, I mean, Jokic is that deal. It's, he's top tier. AD's disappointing me on consistency, just like everybody else say. But some people, when Chicago guys, they get that bad, they start looking fresh every day. Gucci headband while hurt. I don't know if you ever can be the same.
But I agree. I understand why, but yeah, I'm done. I don't need to see another Lakers-Warriors matchup in prime time. I mean, they gave us a really classic game, but show me OKC in Minnesota. I love watching young players. I can't speak for everybody else.
So what do you think about the Boston 76ers matchup? I'm tired of seeing that.
I'm tired of seeing what I saw yesterday. Boston beat the hell out of the Warriors, dog. That's what I'm talking about. Like, dude, why are we showing? We know this Golden State team is not good. We know this, man. We know the only reason they're on TV is because of Steph. And Boston was dragging them the entire game, Left. The entire game.
They were.
And it's like, dude, come on, man. No, the transition is coming. Stop. What Charles is saying is stop holding on to these dudes when you need to be developing the future right now. You need to put Anthony Edwards on national TV more often. He is that dude. He's one of those dudes. Start introducing him. Start introducing Shai Gilgeous to the world more, dude. You have to. Because Bron is, dude, you don't know. Bron could go down with an injury at any point, bro, in year 2021. You don't know how it's going to end. You hope he gives you another 2-3 years and walks off into the sunset, but you don't know that's going to be the case.
Well, it's just, I guess, the unknown from these, because the league is getting more competitive. So guys are popping up and having runs for 1 or 2 years. When you're talking about the face, the NBA is so used to having those LeBrons and Jordans and people that's taking it so long. Who are you going to say has that longevity in them to make the face of the league? Is Kevin Durant, you going to put Kevin Durant as the face of the league? I mean, he's damn near the top. Him and Giannis.
I just told you who the face of the league is, dude.
But those aren't the best players in the league.
It ain't hard, fam. Kobe was known as next before he became the best player in the league. And he was developed as being next. It's up to the league to say, this is the guy. We're going to make sure that if Anthony Edwards had a Bulls jersey instead of a Timberwolves jersey, this wouldn't even be a debate. This wouldn't even be a conversation. You put Anthony Edwards in Chicago, it's on. Off rip. Just from a marketing standpoint, TV standpoint, nobody's questioning that. The only reason they're scared to go to Anthony Edwards' way is because he's in Minnesota. That's the only reason. What that young man is doing, having the Minnesota Timberwolves, fam, are the number 1 seed in the West. The Minnesota Timberwolves. What are we talking about?
The playoffs mean more.
That's fine. Didn't Kobe get swept by Utah shooting air balls? Didn't we watch that? Didn't Mike get swept by the Celtics? The playoffs, that don't mean nothing. Smart business is identifying what's to come, regardless of what they go through. That's smart business. And if they want to keep, Charles Barkley's like, they want to keep playing, the NBA is already in trouble. Nobody watches until after the All-Star game. We already know that. The ratings are horrible. We're trying to do in-season tournaments, all this other type of stuff to get people to watch. Because people aren't watching the NBA. And we're sitting up here still putting the same product, the same dudes on in prime time on Saturday night, instead of going out here and looking towards the future. And he's right. He's absolutely right. He's absolutely right. And the reason they won't do it is because Shea is in OKC and that young man, Anthony Edwards, is in Minnesota. Because if they both were in Chicago or another big city, I guarantee you they would be on national TV a whole lot more. They had the Bulls in Milwaukee on national TV. The Bulls are terrible. There's no way I would put the Bulls on national TV. But you know why they're put on national TV? Because they're the Bulls.
Zach LaVine. Oh.
Zach LaVine didn't even play. And I can't even feel, dude, the fact that you even brought his name up.
Kobe White.
Dude, come on, man. Come on. What happened? Milwaukee drugged them.
Milwaukee's a good team, man. I mean,
by the way, I just want to let you know the Lakers are 10th as we currently sit. I kept trying to tell you, Left, if the Lakers miss the playoffs, oh, you do not want to come on the show that morning. Don't. If he misses the playoffs, it's on.
Like good old Charles Barkley said, there's a reason they keep talking about them. Is because one, they know they're going to be in the playoffs. They know they're going to bring ratings from beating one of these top teams.
So are they going to pad stats and shade numbers and points and give them games to make sure they're in the playoffs? I mean, stay in the same spirit as you were earlier. Is the NBA going to make sure that LeBron is in the playoff?
I think LeBron's going to make sure LeBron.
No. That's not what I asked you. Because your statement was, you didn't say LeBron. You said they know. You said they know. I don't know who they is, but they know that the Lakers are going to be in the playoffs. Are you talking about the NBA?
I am talking about the fans and LeBron himself.
Mm.
The league, the players in the league know.
I'm a fan. I don't know that.
The players in the league know that they don't want to see the Lakers first round as a top team. Would you disagree with that?
Who? They have to make it. They're in 10th place, dude. They have to make it into the playoffs.
They'll make the last spot, even if it's the last spot. Does OKC or the Timberwolves want to play the Lakers first round?
You do. Let me. Can I tell you something? Can I tell you something?
Go ahead.
Do you realize that Minnesota is tied with Denver for the #1 seed? So if they get the 8th slot and have to face Denver in the first round, what's going to happen?
Okay, that's different. That's the only.
No. What's going to happen?
They're going to lose.
Okay. All right.
They're going to lose.
That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. So while they sitting up here acting like, oh, we can just get in.
But guess who else knows that?
Who?
The Timberwolves. They're not looking to finish #1 if they don't have to.
Yeah, so if the Timberwolves are smart, they'll say, you know what? Let's drop down to 2. Let Denver take them out.
That's what I'm saying.
Let Denver take them out, and we'll deal with whoever's in 7.
Yeah, you know why they want them to take them out? Because that's the only team that can. That's my whole point. The only team that can take them out is the Nuggets.
No, now you capping.
Who else
Now
is taking it?
Now you're capping.
Who else in the West?
Now you're capping.
Because the Suns are worried about playing 4th and 5th to get like the Kings or something.
The Kings would definitely beat the Lakers in a series.
They can't even beat the Warriors in a series.
I disagree.
Steph put them boys to bed.
You talking about this year?
I don't this year. Okay, this year they'll beat the Warriors.
Yeah, I'm talking about this year.
This year they'll beat the Warriors, but the Lakers ain't worried about the Kings because the Kings too small.
Okay.
It's just like the playoffs. Everybody know in the playoffs you got to run that football. So all these high flying teams like the Dolphins and all that, you're not winning.
I would agree with that. That's a good point.
So when you get to the playoffs and you got that general back there.
Who? D'Angelo Russell?
Ooh.
You said general.
He's playing good.
You said general.
Now, are you calling him a general?
I mean,
if you're gonna give him that credit, I wouldn't give him that much credit.
You know, I'm just not willing to call anybody else in the Lakers a general. But
okay. That's interesting. That's interesting. By the way, shout out to Shrewsbury. He should be coach of the year.
Oh man. Didn't I tell people? I told people.
That brother's a coach.
Did I not tell people how good of a coach this dude was?
And that brother can coach, man.
I tried to tell people, like, hey.
He a team that is highlighted by its coaching, just like Kansas State coach. I think him and Kansas State coach are two good coaches.
I tried to tell people, like, look here, I've watched him against my Illini. This dude can coach his butt off. And when he gets the talent at Notre Dame, let me tell you something, D.L. Ivy, you better do something in the next 2 years because that cat, Michael Shrewsbury, might start stealing the shine.
I don't know about that.
All right. Okay.
She recruit too good. She recruit too good to lose the spotlight.
Didn't I say over the next 2 years? What I'm telling you is she better win with Hannah. That's what I'm telling you.
Oh, yeah. Hannah.
She better win it with Hannah.
Because
in 2 years, the roster that Shrewsbury is going to have, men's basketball is going to win. They're going to win.
Women's basketball been on top, and we have been to the Elite 8 twice with the men's basketball team.
All I'm telling you is that a little bit of the shine is going to start coming away from the women's and go to what Michael Shrewsbury is doing. That's all I'm saying.
You know what's powering that women's also? Marcus Freeman at every game.
That's all I'm saying. And I'm not, because people like to take things and spend. Look, I'm not saying anything about the women's team. I know they're injured. What did I say? Was I not clear? The next 2 years, which is getting the injured players back, getting the incoming freshmen coming in, and having Hannah Hidalgo in the program.
That's right.
Okay, you got a 2 to 3 year window to get it done because that roster should be stacked. And if you don't, I'm telling you what's coming once Shrewsbury gets some players. I'm telling you what's coming.
He's a great coach, man.
They're in every game right now.
Every game
with a limited roster.
Yes.
I'm telling you what's coming.
I'm talking about it don't matter what the
telling
team
you.
ranked.
I'm telling you what's coming.
Yeah.
And right now, I said and predicted they will be middle of the pack by the end of the season. They're right there. They get a couple more wins, they're going to end up right there in the middle of the pack. The fact that they had 7 conference wins and they gave 3 games away, gave the Syracuse game, gave it away. The North Carolina State game, gave it away. They've given 3 games. The Boston College game on the road, gave it away. They had 7 conference wins and gave 3 games away, love.
Yeah.
Everybody, y'all don't have to tell me who the women's basketball team has coming in. What I'm telling you is that they better do something as far as winning a championship in 2 to 3 years, because I know what's coming with Shrewsbury. I'm telling you what's coming.
Shrewsbury to me.
The days of the women's team and the Buzz being here and the men's team being here,
men's team gonna gain some respect for sure.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. That's about to even out. Oh, that's going to even out. You believe that?
Because he's a star. Because he's a star in himself.
Man,
it's really cool to see all 3 of them got star power. It's all gonna be real good.
Man, it's a good time to be a basketball fan in Notre Dame. Real good time. Real good time.
Because we're gonna start getting those one and done players.
Man,
we get them one and done players at Notre Dame. Oh man, because recruiting different for basketball, I think.
Yeah.
So Notre Dame probably understanding, like, you know, you can't preach a 4 for 40 in basketball. And that's an interesting pitch Shrewsbury got to have.
And he has to. And then see, like John Massey said, can they both have buzz? Hey, when Mike Bray was there, Mike Bray and the men's team didn't have as much buzz as the women's squad.
They went to Elite 8 twice, back to back.
And they still didn't have as much buzz.
Because, you know, the women's teams do it back to back and winning and all that. You see?
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. So it's not about both having buzz. The women's team is not about to have that advantage.
No.
And they're not. I'm telling you, if they don't get it done, because everybody understands that the injuries the last 2 years have been a handicap of sorts. But man, I'm here to tell you, boy, over the next 2 to 3 years, you got the incoming freshman. You have the international girl coming. You're going to go to the transfer portal for the front court. And you're going to have Centron, Olivia, and Hannah. Ain't no excuses next year. I don't want to hear no excuses. None left. None. I don't want to hear any excuses.
It's the same excuse like Pat Mahomes.
They should run the ACC at minimum.
It'll be the same reason as Pat Mahomes.
Run it.
South Carolina ain't going nowhere.
Oh, that's a fact. Now that's a fact.
And we've also
that's a fact.
But the true thing is that we've changed that narrative on UConn.
Oh yeah, UConn is an afterthought right now.
That whole losing the UConn thing, rivalry. No,
UConn is like USC on the football side, right?
Yeah, it's not the same.
Yeah.
So storming the court and crying after we win, it's not even the same feeling no more. Rike put that to bed a long time ago. Now, for South Carolina, it's like, come on, man. Like they're gonna get to the finals because, like you said, they're gonna be good. But listen, we're gonna be like, Niel can't get it done and that whole blah blah blah. But it's not Niel's fault right now. Right now, it's the Dawn Staley era.
I don't think has anybody blamed Niel. I don't think anybody's really. I haven't heard,
anyone
blame Niel.
We're gonna be the team that we're supposed to be under Hannah Hidalgo. Get to that point, just like we're the Baltimore Ravens for the women's team. Everybody love the coach. Great feeling on the team. Got star players. We win consistently in the regular season. We kind of dominate, you know, the conference in a way. But in that same window, we're going to play South Carolina and look like we ain't close.
Yeah.
And just how we played UConn for a long time, and we just wasn't close. We'll beat everybody else. We'll get this UConn at that time. It was just like, all right. We lose by double digits, but then we beat everybody else by double digits.
You were there that day that they beat UConn at home, right? With I think that was like 15 when they finally got over the hump against UConn at the crib.
Yeah, they beat them one time. Yeah. Because that was the same year we ended up winning it. Okay. But even then, South Carolina's around.
And they're not going anywhere, ladies and gentlemen.
They are not going anywhere.
The big girl they have coming in next year is standing on business. Standing on business.
Yeah.
So, and she has freshman guards playing backup that are cold, like right now. It's crazy, man. Yeah. I don't even know if Dawn gets the credit she deserves. I don't think she gets the love that Gino used to get. And that probably comes with winning some more championships, but she's doing it at North Carolina, dog. She built it from the ground up. South Carolina. That's a tremendous job. I just hope Notre Dame can find a way. To just find a way over the next 2 to 3 years. Great show today, Left. We'll get back with you tomorrow. Another edition of Lucky Lucky Podcast, man. Continue to make sure you spin it different.